Welcome back to the Stephan Show. My name is
Graham's girlfriend.
And welcome
back
to the show. That worked. We're gonna go with that. So anyway, welcome back. And so here's what happened the last time Graham's girlfriend was on the channel.
Hello and welcome to another project. On this week's project, we're gonna be working on the Stephan Show. So we're gonna start by tracing Graham, and then after Graham, we're gonna trace Savannah Smiles, and then after that, we're gonna put it all together into one animation at the end. So as you know, these videos come in 3 parts. So the first video is that we're doing Graham, and then we're gonna do Graham's girlfriend afterwards, and then in the final video, we're putting it together. So 3 videos, keep that in mind. The reason that I'm explaining that is that someone asked me, is like, why don't you just do it in one whole video? And I think like trying to compress 3 hours into a time lapse, especially with the animation, it's a bit complicated. And well, it's not even complicated, it's just that you can't even see what's happening. Trust me, I tried. So the reason that I'm doing a YouTuber this week is because after I do movies, so I usually trace and animate movies. So what I've decided is that to have a variety in what I trace and animate is that after I do 2 projects on movies, I would then do YouTubers or anime, just to have, you know, different things. So here I started working with his body. It was very easy. Now while doing the tracing and animating of Graham, I had to think carefully of how this was going to affect the background, because the foreground, background, and basically the characters that are in between are very integrated together. So it was a bit tricky, but not too complicated. And then I think a lot of problems that I encountered ended up solving. But I think most of that you'll see when it comes to creating the final animation, where you'll see how I created the background. So this is the first project where I've shown how I did a background. Usually on the projects that I do, I don't normally show me doing the background. So here we're just working on Graham's ears, and then we're just gonna continue with more of the details. Now with tracing and animating Graham, I felt confident that it did kind of look like him, excuse me. But then what happened is that I started adding more details. As you know, that's my curse. Well, it's not my curse, but I tend to put more details than I should. So here it worked out fine, but I'll point out to you at the point where I was like, wait, I think I've lost the character here, because then at some point it just did not look like Graham, and I just had to sit around and fix a few things, but we'll come to that a little bit later on. So yeah, so I've been watching Graham for a long time now, because the algorithm, I think the algorithm really loves Graham, and I think he's definitely well worth it, because I'll tell you something that I remember he was always being shown on my algorithm, like recommended channels, and I always used to like, you know, you're like, no, leave me alone, algorithm. And then eventually I watched one of his videos, and I forgot which videos it was about, but it was on the finances, and he was just talking about like tracking your finances, and yeah, that changed the way I do my finances. So I actually started, if I'm being honest, I started saving more money after I took that advice that he talked about, like especially like having an app. I think at the time it was Mint. He talked, if I'm not mistaken, could be Mint or another money tracking app. And yeah, so the algorithm truly does know you better than you think you know yourself. So then after that I was like, what else can I learn? So it's weird, because you ignore something and it was actually good for you. So I'm guilty of that. So the algorithm knew what I needed at the time, and I was just being too ignorant. So after I watched that, I started saving money, and I was like, well, if I can save money, I'm sure I can take more advice from Graham. So I've been watching him for a long time now, and definitely has been well worth it. So here you can see I'm just working on his arm. Now here I just want to point out that on his fingers, they're not too detailed, because the 20-cent iced coffee was gonna cover that, so I wasn't too worried about that. So you'll see like any feature that I know will be covered by an object or will not be in view of the camera, I don't worry too much about. So now here I'm just working on the skin color and all the other colors in general. This wasn't too difficult to find the colors, because it's a very, the lighting is very clear so you can make out the dark tones and the light tones of the character. So here I'm just adding on the hair part, just adding that the lighter shade to his hair, and you can see he's coming together. Now at this point I was like, yeah, this is looking like Graham, and then along the way I tried some few details that just didn't work out the way I would have wanted them to work, and I did end up removing them, but you'll see me playing around with those features. So here, just finishing up the rest of the colors, and then we passed the 5-minute mark. So if you enjoy what you're watching, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button. We've got lots of projects now. I think we're on 21 videos, if I'm not mistaken. 21 videos, so that makes how many projects does that make? I don't know, someone do the math. Clearly I need to go watch math channels. So if each project has three videos, and we have 21, so 21 divided by 3, that would be 7, right? So we've got 7 projects, yes. So that's a lot of projects to check out, guys. So we've done Harry Potter, we've done Twilight, we've done 300, we've done Hunger Games. Quite a lot of projects for you guys to check out. So if you're interested in animation and these sort of videos, then please consider checking them out. So here, going back into the video, I'm just adding the lips. It did look very weird, and I think I did struggle with just the overall shapes of the lips. I had to go back and fix them, and also I deleted some of the lip files because it just didn't look right. So I did go back to them later on. And then there were also like details like Graham's beard, because here he had like a little beard, or a shadow rather, and then I forgot to add that in, or to record it, and then after the video had finished recording, that's when I was like, oh damn, I forgot to add in the beard, and then I went back and then I put in the beard. So here you can see I'm just now working with the adding my flair, as you know, just making the lines thicker, and then you can see he's starting to come to life, and yeah, overall I was happy. And then here, this is where the bad things here it started looking weird. I wasn't too pleased with the first result that I did, but again I did come to fix it because it looked a bit weird. But looking back, I think going through this, it doesn't look too terrible, because when I was animating this at the time, I was like, nah, this isn't looking the way I want it to look. But I suppose it's like, that quality that you want, but sometimes I think as an artist or whatever field you do, you're just never satisfied with the results. So here you can see just adding more, creating more thicknesses to the line styles, and just making sure he looks good. And then I can't recall if I did the bone structure in this video here, but I think I might have. I know in the final project I did do it, but I just can't recall if I showed it in this animation. So right, so now you can see I was just here playing again around with the shadows behind almost the face, and then just the backdrop as well. And then I was like, this doesn't look so bad. And then here I just went around fixing the I was trying to do like make the lips a little thicker with the line styles, but it wasn't working the way I would have wanted to. So what I did was I just left it as the default, the one that I created original. So here you can see I'm doing the test animation. So once you see the test animation, it means that we're coming to a close of the video. So what you're gonna see is the test animation. It's not the final thing. The final thing was at the beginning of the video. So this is the test animation, because the first video that you saw at the beginning, I only see it afterwards. So you watching it in the future, I'm watching it in the past. Does that make sense? I think I've hurt myself trying to think like that. But test animations are usually done before the final animation, just so that I can get an idea of what's happening. So you can see here I'm just messing around with a few things. Alright guys, so we're coming to the close of this video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. The next video that we're gonna do is of Savannah Smiles, and then the one after that is gonna be the everything put together. So please consider subscribing, check out all the videos, hit that like button, and thank you so much for watching.